Alright, this is the Chapter 4 setup video for Gryffindor. So you will need your ISN, a pair of scissors, glue stick or bottle of glue, a pen, and a packet that says Chapter 4 Vocabulary Rational Numbers at the top. Okay, so you're going to take your packet and you're going to cut it in half down the center. Okay, so you have one stack that says terminating and repeating decimals, and the other stack has your vocabulary. You're going to carefully take the staple out of the top. Take the staple. All right, so we left off on page 62. That's where your math menu is. And 63, which is your foldable. Okay. So on page 64, you're going to glue in the page that says Chapter 4 Vocabulary and Rational Numbers at the top. So this goes on page 64. At the top of page 64, you're going to write Chapter 4 Vocabulary. Okay. Chapter 4 Vocabulary, that goes on the top of page 64. Okay. You're going to leave page 65 blank. On page 66, you're going to glue in terminating and repeating decimals. So this goes on page 66, terminating and repeating decimals. That goes on page 66. Page 67, you're going to leave blank. On page 68, you're going to glue in compare and order rational numbers. This goes on page 68. Compare and order rational numbers. On page 69, you're going to glue in the ice cream cone, the one that looks like the ice cream cone. Okay, that goes on page 69. So 68 has compare and order rational numbers, and then page 69 has the ice cream cone. So there's 68, 69, on page 70, you're going to glue in add and subtract like fractions. This goes on page 70. Add and subtract like fractions. Okay. It's page 70. Add and subtract like fractions. 71, you're going to leave blank. On page 72, you're going to glue in add and subtract unlike fractions. Okay, so this is on page 72. Add and subtract unlike fractions. So that's 72. 73, you're going to leave blank. On page 74, you're going to glue in add and subtract mixed numbers. Okay. So this goes in on page 74. So 74, add and subtract mixed numbers. 75, you're going to leave blank. On page 76, you're going to put in multiply fractions. Multiply fractions. This goes on page 76. So again, on page 76, you're going to put in multiply fractions. Okay. Page 76, you're going to put in multiply fractions. Page 77. 77, you're going to leave blank. On page 78, you're going to put in divide fractions. This goes on page 78. So 78, divide fractions. Page 79, you're going to leave blank. On page 80, you're going to put in convert between systems. Page 80, you're going to put in convert between systems. So on page 80. Okay. 81, you're going to leave blank, and then 82, you're going to put in your math menu, okay? Your math menu goes on page 82. So now that we've done that, we're going to go back to our table of contents. And we're going to fill in our table of contents. So on page 63 was the integers foldable. Page 63 was integers foldable. Page 64 through 65 was chapter 4 vocabulary. '66 through 67 was terminating and repeating decimals. '68 through 69 was compare and order rational numbers. Okay. Page 70 through 71. Add and subtract like fractions. Okay. 72 through 73. Add and subtract unlike fractions. Page 74 through 75. Add and subtract mixed numbers. Okay. 74 to 75. Okay. I ran out of room. If you didn't run out of room, you can keep going. So the next one I have 76 through 77. Multiply fractions. 78 through 79 is divide fractions. '80 through 81 is convert between systems. 80, 81, convert between systems. And then page 82 is math menu. Chapter 4. Okay. And that is the setup video for Chapter 4 for Gryffindor.